In this video, I win a Citroen ZX for £4. Ka-ching! However, bringing it home doesn't go entirely without problem. Here we go then, let the caper commence.
It's a bit dark out there.
Right, Birmingham. So after that horribly early start, we're now hurtling along the M54, or at least we were until we hit traffic. We need to get to Sutton Coldfield and drop the RAV4 off, and then jump on a train at 3 minutes past 11, I think. It's currently 9:30, probably about an hour to go. Hopefully we're going to make it. First destination reached. And turning off the RAV for the last time. Time to say goodbye. We'll deal with that and I'll be back in a bit. Currently in the Birmingham Art Museum and Gallery, and running a bit late. Train to catch. Got to dash. Oops. Listen to my trim rattles. Is that a glove box? Yes. 0 to 60, here we go! Feel the power. Woo! That down a hill. I wouldn't call this a particularly brisk car. But it has a 1.9 diesel engine with 71 brake horsepower. I've owned many cars with exactly this engine, and this is about as slow as the rest of them. We're up to 70, and that's almost refined. Maybe if we shut the sunroof. Oh, this is like a limousine. So yes, we are now heading back to Wales in the £4 Citroen ZX that I won in a raffle. Our day started by taking the RAV4 to Birmingham, then we jumped on trains variously, and now we've got the joy of the M4 on a Friday afternoon. There's lots of angry people who've had to spend the week behind a desk somewhere, head home with much haste. I think there may be traffic jams ahead. Right, we've covered almost 70 miles now, and it's all a bit dull and boring really, which is kind of what the ZX is all about. Very competent, just not particularly exciting, especially on motorways. Look forward to getting to Wales and testing the suspension on the bends, but it's probably going to be dark by then, so I'm doing a status report now. So far the fuel needle has only moved after I put fuel in. It didn't seem to drink very much at all, and it sits very nicely at motorway speeds. I find it quite comfortable. Does my passenger agree?
Yes, quite comfortable.
Well, there you go. It's official. A comfy car then. We've hit traffic.
We haven't hit it.
Well, we haven't hit the traffic, no. We have got stuck in traffic.
It's slow.
Oh, I'm glad I have my pedant passenger with me.
You need me all the time.
Yeah. The good thing about a diesel is you can just potter along without having to touch the clutch. Good old-fashioned diesel. It will slug away very slowly, which is good because we are going very slowly. So there is still a bit of a slightly concerning noise coming from the engine somewhere. It's like bearingy noise of alternator or tensioner if I'm really unlucky. But it seems to be going well enough. It's not overheating so far, but then this is the first traffic we've hit. It drives very well. Not a bad gear change for a PSA car. Clutch is fairly light. Certainly a lot lighter than my old XM. Oh, this really is a big queue. It seems to be flashing occasionally a little light, which I think means the oil level's low. It was halfway on the dipstick when we picked it up, but we don't have any oil, so I'm just going to hope that's alright. I didn't mention that, did I?
No, didn't mention
That'll be
that, no.
fine. Also, the water level was quite low as well, but I'm not going to worry about that either.
What's that noise?
That was an interesting noise. I hope that's not the alternator trying to fall off.
Let's hope not. It sounded like it's coming from the back to me. But not really.
It did sound like the back, yes. Where is the exhaust knocking? Worrying times in the cheap car. The end is in sight. I can see the end of the traffic jam. I've slightly lost track of how long we've been sat in this traffic jam, but it feels like forever. This is the air balloon roundabout, usual congestion. But at least I know the electric fan will cut in when it gets hot. That's good news. We are stuck in Hereford. It is horrible.
I think Collection Cape is quite boring actually.
You may have a point.
Most of the travelling.
Ooh, brake lights. Check my recent blog on how annoying it is when people hold their brake lights on. You'll have to forgive the Blair Witch impression. We've hit trouble in the ZX. We were driving between Hereford and Kington, and the back end of the car started to feel rather dubious indeed. We're not entirely sure what happened. There seems to be a fair bit of play in one of the rear hubs. Thankfully, we've got friends nearby, so we're going to see if we can limp there. And once we've found some food, that's where my co-driver is at the moment, seeing what options we've got, and we'll see what transpires in the morning. It doesn't look like we're getting home tonight. Welcome to the unexpected day 2 of the Citroen Collection Caper, and yet another Citroen friend encountered en route. And as you can see, we're having trouble. Let's take a closer look. Problem is, huge amount of play in this back wheel. That's in the hub, it would seem, and not exactly helpful. It's made for some very interesting handling. So we're going to see what we can do about it, if anything. Let's get the trolley jack out. Right. See what we've got. Ah, can you come in closer? Let's check this out. Lots of metal filings. I think we found our problem. That wheel bearing is completely jiggered. Now we need to see if we can find a replacement. Let's see how that part goes in rural Herefordshire on a Saturday morning. Well, the good news is we've just been out in this ZX and grabbed or found a garage that stocks wheel bearings, or should be able to get one in. So we're now going to pull the drum off, and then we can take it for a new bearing to be pushed in, we hope. Fingers crossed. We still want to get to a gig back home at 2 o'clock. So we need to unpin that, undo that nut, pull the drum off. So we've got the nut off with the big 32mm socket. Let's see if we can get the drum off. That could be easier said than done. Oh, handbrake's off. Right, with the handbrake off, we shall try again. There comes the washer. Ta-da! Ooh. Ah, yes. I'd say that's a pretty knackered bearing myself. I don't think it's meant to be in quite so many pieces. Brilliant. So now we take the drum off the wheel. We've got to get this inner race off, which should be fun. Oh yeah, all the seals are utterly knackered. And then we've found a garage that is going to hopefully push us a new bearing in. We're just waiting for that to be delivered. So fingers crossed we can still make it to the gig. No, I don't think that's very close to coming off. If in doubt, get a bigger lever. Parfait. That is one tortured in a race. Well, there's no race left on it. Time for breakfast. Job is a good one. New bearing fitted, wheel goes around nicely, wheel no longer moves all around. Excellent, we can get back on our way. Well, the good news is we've got the ZX finished, the rear wheel bearing has been replaced, that really annoying drone that was pestering me yesterday is gone. That might have been a clue that all was not well. We're now driving as quickly as I dare in these wet conditions. Try and get back home in time for a gig which starts in just over an hour. I need to say a very special thanks to our friends Adrian and Ellie for putting us up for the night, and then Adrian helping me find a wheel bearing and get it fitted this morning. Also need to thank Ashbrook Garage who fitted the new bearing to the brake drum and enabled us to get on our way. And I managed to get a new wiper blade as well, so I can actually see where I'm going, which is quite a novelty. Look at that, single wiper race goodness. Oh, that felt a bit understeering. I don't like these tyres. Oh, we're on the home stretch, which you can probably tell because it's pouring down with rain. But the good news is we appear to have made it. And still 10 minutes until the gig is due to start. So our frantic morning fitting a new wheel bearings appears to have paid off. And it must be said, the car seems a lot quieter and a lot more refined now. But eventually home we did make it, and this car managed to get us here with only a few issues. There is still a problem with a tensioner on the engine for the auxiliary belt. I think sounds awful. That's going to be the next thing to investigate, but hey, here we are. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again.